y'all? It's your man Dave with my brother Quest, the man bringing you all things marriage, paying you huge dividends on your investment in time with us. We're talking about love, sex, having children, money, spirituality, life, communication, and anything else to help you thrive and win in your relationships. And guess what? This is grown folks' business. So get ready to make grown-up decisions. You know why? Because marriage ain't for suckers. That's the name of the program. Marriage ain't for suckers. All right, let's get into it. Hey, yo, Quest, it's time to give the people something, man. What we talking about today?
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What up, y'all? Welcome to another edition of the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast. I'm your host, Jay Quest, alongside my man, my man, L. David, the Anomaly Harris.
This is going to be an entire problem, Quest.
Yes,
when I say an entire problem, I mean
That's a one problem, like them kind of problem.
Building, man. We in the building, man.
Apparently.
It's a lovely Thursday. Shouts out to everybody who logs in, who listens to, who, you know what I'm saying, rocks with your boy on the your fellas here on the Marriage Ain't for Suckers podcast, man. It is a beautiful Thursday here in the Charlotte. You know what I'm saying? Cumulus clouds, 65. Oh no, I'm just playing.
You sound like a real pilot.
60 something degrees outside, so it's warm and deep. I'm glad because it just feels like the warmth is starting to come back again. I don't know how true that is because it's February and we in the South, so we have a lot of Indian summers. Shouts out to everybody in New Jersey because they got slapped with a storm. But I'm grateful because the following day the snow is almost gone. For Faith landed, she, you know what I'm saying, went to go see the fam. Okay. So when she landed, she saw like most of the snow was pretty much gone. And it was crazy because just the day before it was inches, bro.
I can't do that, Quest. I'm done with that. I'm over it.
Shouts out to the homie Demias, man, who's checking in. Yes, indeed. But yeah, man, I can't do it either. D, I'm done with the cold. Like for real.
You can't be done with the cold and you live in the cold, bro.
Let me be 100. Let me be one stack with you. Yeah. If it wasn't for Faith, bro, I'd have chuck up the deuces. Chris Brown. I would have chucked up the deuces, but because, you know what I'm saying, I value
your wife.
Yeah, I value her. Her.
Well, that kind of makes sense. I do
a lot of things to her, pause, but I value her mostly than anything else. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to AB, you know what I'm saying? What up, though? Pause.
Yo, you know what I knew? What I learned while we were growing up together?
What's up?
Certain things you just don't comment on.
Yeah, I know. You know what I'm saying? I you know me, though. I'm defiant sometimes. You know
no, but that's you. You can say what you want to say, but I ain't got nothing to say about that. See, my palms are up, bro.
I see you.
Keep the faith.
I see you. Keep the faith. Shouts out to Keep the Faith, man. Yeah. What's going on, man? Give me some wins, man. What's popping?
What's the win is that I should have up another device so I could show you what's going on outside my window with all that cool, but not cold, very sunny vegetation in the hills, Jamaica life. That's what I should. That's a win for me, bro. Like WIN, bro.
Real talk. I'm working towards getting back to the place and space where I'm going down at least once or twice a year.
Let's go.
Yeah, me and Pops we used to pretty much on a, you know what I'm saying, at least once a year. We were looking for excuses to be down there. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out to RK3 in the building.
Yo, real quick, let's interrupt this broadcast just to say, hey, yo. Yo, Bobby. You're not gonna believe this. Quest, tell me if I'm lying. Yeah. Quest is a client, right? He's a client.
Yeah.
You know what I do with E, right?
Yeah.
I recommended somebody to go to your LinkedIn page while I was doing my work this morning.
Just
with
this morning.
6, 7, and 8-figure income earners. I'm just saying, that's RK3. That's me, except it's not me, it's him. So shout to the homie.
To RK3. You know what I'm saying?
Shout to the homie.
When you know what I'm saying, when the veterans click up, you know what I'm saying? We've been rocking with that cat since high school. Shouts out to him, man.
Brother.
We got years under the belt, man.
I'm gonna just say to him what I used to say to you.
Yeah.
Come on, my yard.
Come on, my yard. That's what I talk about.
That's all I got on that one.
That's what I defend. For real. I'm leaving it in God's hands, D. That when it's right, it's right.
Yeah, I'm over it with you. Like I'm gonna leave you alone because I understand.
Because you know what the hold up is.
What the reality is. You said hold up. I'm not gonna co-sign that terminology.
Yeah.
But I will say I understand what is going on.
Yes.
So I'm gonna leave that right where that is.
Yes, indeed.
I don't fasten big people business, bro. I'm done. I'm done on
indeed. He said soon come. Yes, indeed.
Watch out.
Yep. For vacation though. You see? Nah. Hey,
in the river, pon the bank.
Yeah.
In the river, pon the
I'm
bank.
trying to go down for good. You know what I'm saying? One of these islands gotta see me for good.
Let's
life.
go get them, son.
Yeah,
Let's
man.
get them. I am unhinged. Man. I should just chill. I'm gonna chill.
Yeah.
Chill.
D, what we jumping into today, man?
We're jumping into CheaterZ.
Yeah.
CheaterZ.
Ooh.
You know, they used to actually have a show called CheaterZ. I don't know if it still exists.
I remember.
It was kind of weird. I don't know if it was staged or if it was weird. It looked kind of staged-ish. But like if somebody pull up on me, son, if God forbid, no, I'm not going to use me. If there was somebody like me who was a cheater, then you're not pulling up on me with no cameras talking all slick out your mouth. Because clearly if that person is dumb enough, I shouldn't say dumb. That's probably, take that back. Can we take it back? No, we're live.
We can retract.
Retract. I retract that statement. If the person is, it was Cap. Okay, yeah. If the person is bossy enough, and disrespectful enough to cheat, all in their chest like that, then coming to them with cameras and some random cat talking slick out his mouth like he knows me, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably not the best way. So we're not talking like, this is not no tabloid kind of thing what we're talking about, right?
Yeah.
So, but in real life, what happened, this is what happened today in the gym, Quest. So I'm finished lifting. That sounded so New York. But I just finished lifting, right? Yeah, and then one of the bodybuilders was like, he stopped me. And he said, so what is your religious affiliation? And I was like, that's really interesting. You know? And he's talking to one of the OG.
By the fruits shall he know them.
One of the OG trainers, he's 45. The OG trainer is 45. And then the young homie who's a bodybuilder and he's a trainer too is 27, right? They're speaking to a young lady and she's all in her feelings. And matter of fact, the young trainer is not all in his feelings, but he's obviously annoyed with the OG trainer. And the two of them are firing on the dude, and the dude is just eased back. He's the dude that would call himself, like if he were to say it, like the devil's advocate. Like I don't advocate being for the devil, so I don't do that. But he one of them dudes. And then so when I realized, and so I told the young trainer, you know, he wanted to know, and I told him, and he said, all right, good. So if somebody cheats, is that good? So they were speaking in the context of singleness. That was the context of the discussion, because apparently the young woman had been cheated on by somebody that she was with, in air quotes, for 10 years. I'm like, pause. She's a baby, and you were with him for 10 years? That's the first problem. But let me not get entangled in that part of the discussion yet. But the OG trainer was just like, cheating's not a big deal. And so I said, hold on. I put my hand on him and told both of them. I said, yo, don't get in no discussions with this dude right here, because he's just going to carry round and round and round and round in the bush. Of course, I was speaking in Jamaican parlance. But I was just like, he's just going to carry her around the bush. This dude just likes to philosophize. Is that a word?
Yeah.
He just want to carry you around in circles. Like, he'll have you here all day. So listen, that is foolishness. But on the point, though, the question kept coming up because the young woman was triggered, bro, because she had been cheated on. And then this man is standing in front of her, saying, nothing wrong with it. So she's triggered. Like, what? What you mean?
He said nothing wrong with it?
Yeah, man. The dude was like, yo, nothing's wrong with cheating. It's a matter of perspective. And then he goes into this whole long discussion about around the world, someplace you can have 5 wives or whatever. And so you know me, because I am hood. He from the ghetto, though, no fronting. But I put up the signal after I told them, like, leave him alone because he's just gonna talk. He just like keeping people in long conversations. I said, all right, let's move it from that. Because he was just like, oh, in different parts of the world, I may not be wrong or whatever like that. And I'm like, listen, if you have a covenant with somebody that you just with them, then whatever.
Yeah,
then I said,
don't speed. Don't speed.
I'm coming back to it, though. I'm going to tell you what
but you use the word, and I don't want you.
I'm coming back to the word.
Okay.
But in my passion, I pulled up on him like, yo, if I put this thing on your forehead and boom.
Yep, it's a wrap.
Is it okay in another country, homeboy? That's what I asked him. I was like, so in my mind, it's okay because I say it's okay in my particular context. Is that okay? I said, some stuff is just wrong. Some stuff is just right. So if I do that, it's wrong or right. And then he want to go round and round. I'm like, I already know what he's going to do, but I'm showing them, like, don't be in no discussion like this with this dude because he just like going around the bush. So, like, when we were young, we would just be like, so if I just punch you in your ass, that's good, right or wrong? It's good?
Yep. Nah.
So good. So now that we make the point, I did say something about covenant, though.
That's it.
Let's sit down in that. Even though we're talking about singles right this moment, you've decided that you two are in the kind of relationship that it's to the exclusion of other people. Even though you don't marry yet. But you've made a vow to each other to say, whatever the next step is, we're going to take it with each other, not with just random people. And so when homeboy was, when the young woman was like, her man friend or whatever you call it, cheated on her. Yeah. She's triggered, like she's pulling out her earbuds and like, are you kidding me? And then the other bodybuilders like, yo, that's a foolishness. And I'm like, y'all leave him alone. Let's talk about this. You made a decision where both of you reasonably understand and expect that it's you and you, not you and them. Something wrong with that, bro. Like, you can't go do something of a certain, if it's of a sexual nature or if it's an emotional nature, where now you're inviting somebody else into your relationship and consider that is not flat out wrong.
So D, let me say this, right? I did a live on Facebook today, and I'm probably going to do one on Instagram later on, right? And I was talking to, shouts out to Shadrach. I was talking to the single folk because it's Valentine's, right? And you know how some people who are not romantically involved in this season, not all, but a good number of people feel a certain level of heaviness, if you will, because there's been so much socialization surrounding and sensationalism surrounding Valentine's Day and not having a romantic partner, and people posting their stuff all over the place, right? Celebrating their relationship, that because I don't have somebody that I'm romantically involved in, right? That makes me, you know what I'm saying? So the piece that I did this morning was, it's not the dating, it's the development. Right? So we know that if you're dating, for most people, if you're doing it right, it should push you in the direction of becoming committed and ultimately in covenant with a particular person to do life with somebody and not around them. Covenant. From you understand covenant, you understand that Cheating is not even a part of that. Like
That's why
that's
it's
not
called
even
cheating, son. That's why it's called cheating. Like
but
it's
but
called cheating for a
but
reason, bro.
people think that you can legit make that a part of the yo. I was watching today a clip from a particular show who talks on relationships, right? And there was one particular
I like how you did that, by the way.
yeah, right. There's one particular lady that I love when I see her on the panel. She's dope, right? The question was asked, at what point, if I'm not getting it to the frequency that I believe is fulfilling to me within the relationship, at what point is it okay for me to step outside the relationship?
You talking about marriage? Like if you're not getting sex?
Whether first of all, we ain't supposed to be doing it before marriage anyway. But I don't know
But we
which
talking
context.
about, sorry
I
about
don't know.
that.
I don't know
Is
if
it
he was.
sex you talking about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm not sure if he was talking within the context of just together or within the context of marriage, right? Which I believe it should only be done in the context of marriage anyway. Anything outside of that is whatever. That's our belief system. I know it's unpopular, but I'm for the right rather than the popular. Whole
Correct.
other conversation.
Yeah.
Right? He asked if it's okay if I'm not getting it right with the frequency that I should. At what point is it okay for me to step outside to fulfill the need?
Like a supplement or something, homie?
I couldn't believe it. And I'm just sitting there like, what? It's already wrong for you to do it in just a dating situation. Now you're just wrong now, if that makes sense, right? She was like, what are we really talking about here? Are we willing to sacrifice our integrity, our character, and our morals just because you're not getting in this relationship what you think you should be? This is the reason why I'm saying that people need to be developed and understand the totality of relationship and what it entails before you even step into it. Because at what point do you think, right? Even with my man you were having a conversation with, sometimes I don't even have conversations with them people because what's about to come out my mouth, you don't even have the presence of mind to receive it.
But see, I had to make it a teachable moment for
Yes.
everybody because they called me after I was done working out.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, since you brought it up, like, like I'm about to do a Bible class and the dude, the young man figured when they said, oh, later on, then he's going to do the whatever and you can ask him anything. And then the dude, I guess he got it twisted because I got a little gray in my beard, but you know where we come from. And he's like, so I can ask any question? I said, yeah, she was right when she said that. And he said, so I'm going to ask, why the sun hot? And everybody starts laughing. I dragged him, right?
Dragged him.
I was like, okay, so we're going to talk 30 minutes. As soon as the thing started, I made him talk about why the sun hot. Because this ain't a play thing, bro.
This is not, and
so
that's
since
the thing.
Since you called my name, we're going to talk about, even though the OG trainer is dragging them through the mud, this is going to be a teachable moment if I have to stop and talk to you.
Yeah.
You feel me? Yeah. Was the dude on the show, was he serious when he was like, at what point do you get to supplement?
Dead serious. He was dead serious.
So I would have really, personally, even though it's a teachable moment, because we do have a little extra testosterone, since he was bossy and broad and big chest enough to say that out loud to a woman in front of all them people, I'd have been like, bro, obviously, you not ready. You immature. You not ready for no relationship. Next question. Never. Next question. Anything else?
But here's the funny thing. There were a couple, she was like, are we really talking about this?
That's right.
And there were one or two dudes on the panel like, yes, we are talking about this.
Good.
Which means that there are a number of gentlemen that are in relationships.
Ain't no gentleman doing that, bro.
I'm sorry. There are a number of men because I'm being right. There are a number of men that actually think within the context of, we're not even talking about relationship. We can, but we're talking within what we're talking about is marriage, right? There are a number of men who actually entertain the thought. If we were to take a sample survey of the population, D, I'm sure that we would find a number of men who are thinking along the lines that, is it okay? Or even as much as entertaining the question, is it okay that if I'm not getting my needs fulfilled and I step outside, right? It should be okay for me to do that because my needs are not being fulfilled at home.
You know what I did to pull the conversation down? Because the young woman was triggered. And then the trainer was, the young trainer was, you know.
So you was cheated on, you probably be triggered too.
So what? So, exactly. So here what I did. I asked the young trainer, how old are you? He said he's 27. And I said to all of them, I said, I've been married since he was 5. The young woman was like, the OG know that. He's not an OG to me, but to them he is. He knows that. And I said, okay, low and slow, Quest. I'm low and slow now. 22 years. So OG trainer figured he was going to get slick. And he said, before you get married, how many people you? I said, I don't know. He said, see that? I said, hold on, bro. You forgot to ask a question now. You missed a question. Remember and the other trainer, he asked me, what is my affiliation? I said, you said before I got married, but years before I got married, I got connected to God. So now ask me the question again. How many did I have since I've been connected to God and since I've been married? 0.
Yep.
Nobody except my wife. And and listen, I got baptized in 96. I didn't get married until 2001. I'm not trying to say that I'm some special dude, but you have to ask all the questions, homeboy. So I stopped him. And then he was like, oh, and I said, oh, he started talking. I interrupted him. And I said, you know why? Because I care what God thinks.
That's it.
And then the youth were like, he cares what God thinks. Now settle down and listen, homeboy. Like, you got to listen now. This is a teachable moment. So easy with all of that. All you doing. And so you know what that implies? That you don't care what God thinks.
That's it.
Straight.
That's it.
So don't play around with this discussion.
But here's the funny thing.
Don't do that.
It's not even so. Let's not even take it as far as God. You don't care what man think. If you don't care what man think, how you going to care what God think? You don't care what nobody else think but you. That's the only person you care about what you think. That's it.
I took it another level. He said, see, you didn't even know before I said all that. He was like, oh, so you don't even know how many bodies you got. I was like, no, absolutely not. I have no idea. I said, I have no idea. And I said, and just in case somebody gets confused, when I was out there before I got baptized, and I called myself being honest and say, well, I can't go with you tonight because I'm going with her to do whatever. That's not noble. Because there's some dudes that are such players that they feel like, oh, if everybody knows, then it's okay. And I'm like, no. But if you care what God thinks, then immediately you have to say, push pause on that. Because that is what matters to me. That is what drives how I do, what I do, and with whom I do. You feel me? So I'm not saying that a person who loves God can't make a mistake, but I don't really want to go into them weeds. I don't have the time to go into the weeds of what happens when somebody makes a mistake. All I'm saying is, not only is it the ideal, but it can be what we do. This is how we can actually live. And I told them, if you, and pardon me, Quest, I'm one of them dudes that's extreme on certain things. If you are unmarried and the person that you're supposed to be serious with goes and sexes someone else, leave them immediately. Do not pass go. Do not collect $200. Listen to the story. If you're a forgiving person, which I hope you are, forgive the person and push. Do not go any further in that relationship because you don't need to. Marriage, that's a different discussion. But this discussion, push. I said that. You can think I sound unforgiving all you want, but statistically, it ain't gonna work. Just saying. It's not gonna work.
I'm not even, yeah.
Can we roll credits? Are we done?
No, I'm letting that breathe for a minute. Because I know all the questions that's coming to mind. What happened to this and what happened to this? The question ain't the question. Here's the funny thing. The question is not even about what if they, the question is now about you. How developed are you that you would allow somebody into your life to do that to you in the dating phase?
Well, call it courtship. Because
Whatever
we're
you
talking
want to
about,
call it. We ain't married. Whatever we call before you say I do, whatever we calling it, D, courtship, dating. If you say courtship, we'll call it courtship.
can I just make a distinction
Yeah,
while you do?
sure,
Are you going to
sure.
lose your point if I do this?
No.
The reason why I want to make the distinction is because in a world where people sex each other just indiscriminately, right? The people who are dating, like if you want to call it dating, they just go out with whomever, whenever. But even in that world, though, there are people that say it's me one and you one, and that's it. This is the type of person I'm talking to. The people that are just out there going out with whomever, y'all sexing each other like bunnies. I don't know what to say about that. But for the people who, did I just say that? That just,
You said like bunnies.
I'm sorry, it just leaked out, Quest. Sometimes I don't know what I'm saying.
I get it though.
But for the people who have said though that you and I are an item, that's who I'm talking to right now.
And let me say that this is the reason why I'm saying, D, that it is not the dating, it's the development. It's not the courtship, right? It's the development. From the time that you allow somebody in the courtship phase to do that, what I'm doing is opening the door for that to potentially happen after I've committed myself, entered into covenant with you.
Yeah, you set the expectation.
And it's easier now to do it now. It's not that easy to do it once you enter into covenant. Some of us are, here's the truth of the matter. Some of us are in marriage right now, D, and made covenant with something that God never intended for us to make covenant with. Why? Because we weren't developed enough. You cannot give what you don't have. That's one of the principles we talk about in the masterminds in the morning, right? Yeah. You can't think about a thing if you don't have the presence of mind, or if you don't have that kind of mind to even think about that. That's way beyond what am I saying? There's levels to this.
Definitely.
And whenever you choose somebody, you're going to choose somebody that's a reflection of who you are. What are you saying, Quest? If you immature, you're going to choose somebody who's immature.
Yeah.
If you lack character, you're going to choose somebody that lacks character. If you lack integrity, you're going to choose somebody who lacks integrity. If you have low self-esteem, you're going to choose somebody who has low self-esteem. So here's the funny thing. Work towards being the best version of yourself that you possibly could be, so that you can make information changes situations. Give yourself information and time to develop so that you can be in right. If there's levels to it and you at a level 3, let's work to get into a level 7 or a level 10 so that we can get somebody who's on a level 7 or level 10.
So do me a favor. Let's do a little role play, Quest.
Yeah, no doubt.
All I need you to say, all I need you to say to me is, that's easy for you to say. 3, 2, go ahead.
Yeah, that's easy for you to say.
Yeah, well, I didn't say it. All I did was repeat it. God said it. God had said that. I did say God had said. God said that. All I did was repeat it. You go tell him that.
But here's the funny thing too, D. He says it in so many different ways. We pick and choose what we want to apply it to. There's a text that says, "Be harmless as a dove and wise as a serpent." That wasn't just for finances or business decision. That's across the board, even in relationships. You see somebody, they look good. Where we get messed up is that y'all jokers is sexing before you're supposed to.
Yeah.
Sex is the fire and marriage is the fireplace. You try to start that fire anywhere else, you're going to burn the place down.
Pause. Say that again. Say that again, please.
Sex is the fire. Marriage is the fireplace. I don't start a fire in the middle of my living room unless it's, I don't put wood in. I'll burn the house down. Well, now that I'm married, I started wherever I want to. But that's
I put the wood in the fire wherever I put it.
Now that you married.
Yo, you can't say wood in Jamaica. That's all I got on that. I can't say wood in Jamaica, bro. That's all I got on that. How we get here? How did we get here, people?
Because it's question day, and that's all the time. Shenanigans. But all jokes aside, D, like for real, if you try to start that, I just want people to understand that, like for real, Cheating will never take place when you understand what sex is. A lot of cheating takes place because people don't understand what sex is. Sex is a gift. It is a gift from God. Unfortunately, sometimes we take the gifts that God gives us and use them in a unholy kind of way, if you will. In other words,
Yeah.
outside of what it was ordained to do. If
Yep.
And I'm going to say, D, yeah, I don't want to dive too deep because you know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to be offensive, but I can go there if it is not within the marriage context.
Getting it right.
And I can go even further than that.
Yeah.
Anything outside of that, then it is. You don't believe? And I'm easy for you to say. D just said it a while ago. I didn't say it.
That was so cute. Like when people say that to me, I'm just like, brother, you talking. I'm not a baby, bro. I've been around for a minute.
I didn't say it, bro.
I didn't say it. All I did was repeat it. It's easy for me to repeat. So here's the thing, Quest. Somebody may be saying, well, what's the big deal? Why are you talking so strong? Have you ever? And I'm like, easy with those questions. You should be wondering what God thinks, right? So here's the thing. If being physically and emotionally intimate is a godly thing, and it is.
And you're trying to be godly.
Yes. Or even if I'm not. But what I'm saying is I'm stripping the argument down. Physical and emotional, and I would add spiritual intimacy is godly. It must represent something. So the marriage, which is really the housing for this kind of intimacy, represents relationship between God and his people. So people always throwing up signs, and I'm not throwing none up because I ain't never been in no gang. But people always throwing up signs for who they repping. And you know what the repercussions are for fronting like you repping somebody?
Whoa.
Pause. And do you know, even with our brothers, the nation of who they call themselves, the nation of gods and earths, 5% nation, you know what kind of physical justice you get for repping the nation, the 5% nation, and you get what they call physical justice.
Oh, can I do you one better?
Please do.
In Deuteronomy, I believe it's in chapter 18. If you spoke on behalf of God and he didn't speak to you, not only are you considered a false prophet, but you could be committed to death.
So now,
because if what you said did not come to fulfillment, right? That means that you said something that God didn't tell you to say, that you said he told you. Now you misrepresented him and got him looking crazy out here. The word declares that you would be put to death. Period.
So what I'm saying then, if God forbid I do step outside of my relationship for what is only to be in my relationship, in my case, I'm married, and that relationship represents God, then that means that I'm saying to whoever is seeing that this is how God is. This is what God is like. You can take it any way you want to take it, but we can't pussyfoot around it, bro. Like we can't act like it's not what it is. Even if, God forbid, you saw me do it, that is no excuse. Which I did not, by the way. Now, can I just say that right there? I'm saying, in my humanity, if you see something that is not like him, it doesn't change what I just said. And you could rewind this and play it back to me. Be like, bro, remember that day that you said? And I'd be like, I repent in sackcloth and ashes. If God forbid, because it doesn't give anybody any excuse for living a counter to what God says. Because you see some other person do that, that's okay to you. Well, the two of you are misrepresenting God. Like if I'm in prison, like those, you know what I mean? Like when we were young, bro, and the dude is getting knocked for something. You'd be like, Quest did it too. Brother, that's some
Oh,
sucker stuff, bro.
sucker.
That's some sucker stuff. Like Quest did it too. Is that's your excuse? That's some sucker stuff. I seen
Yo.
you do it. That's some sucker stuff, bro. That doesn't change the fact that you're on the wrong side of the discussion.
Yo, David, I gave Nico the verbal action day before yesterday. So whenever I tell him take a day, that means no electronics, no TV, no nothing. You finna sit in your room, and for them. I saw my man stressed yesterday. He was leaning up against the wall like this. You know why? Because he ain't had no video games. He didn't have no tablet. He couldn't do nothing.
Homeboy
right?
shivering.
Because I said, you're losing it, right? So he was like, the other day, you let Mason do. I said, this is not about Mason right now. This is the fact that I asked you to do something and then you lied about doing it. It was real light, but I'm sending the message to all of them, like, for real. I would have rather you told me you didn't do it and we can work through why you didn't do it, as opposed to telling me that you did it when you know you didn't. Immediate. Take a day, bro. And you lucky I didn't.
Easy.
You lucky.
He broke what, like, I'm not really with the man code thing, but in this case, I'm gonna use it. You broke man code by diming on your brother.
But then here's the funny thing. You trying to justify whatever it is that you're doing or circumvent the process so you could get to do it because he got, and I said, first of all, who did it? Who allowed him to do it? He said, Mommy did. I said, then it wasn't me. I'm the one I caught you doing it. I'm the one that you lied to. So guess what? You're going to deal with me. You ain't dealing with your mother right now. So you're going to pay the price. And matter of fact, then he was like, but I was like, we dealing with you. But we dealing with you. And if I get another but, it's going to cost you more than you're willing to pay.
So we have to prepare these young men,
bro,
to be
told, we got to prepare some of the big men.
Grown men, bro, because all that excuse stuff, that's what my thing is with our guy, Josiah, man. When he gives me excuses, I'm not actually upset with him. But I come to him heavy because I'm like, I am not raising a boy. Like in this book that the late Richard Williams wrote, they stole it and we must give it back or something like that. He identified that there was a time that some slave owners, masters, and drivers used to son the men, and get the boys to grow up too fast. And they would use the vehicle of the mommy. So they would threaten the dude, the big, strong, burly man, and put it in the wife's or the woman's mind, we gonna kill that blank. And so she would be like, chill, yo, Quest, please, Master gonna kill you. Quest, chill, please, Master gonna kill you. So he would get sunned that way, right? But then she would inadvertently grow up the boy too quickly, put too much responsibility on his head. And so the boy is confused. And then when he gets to manhood, he gets sunned again. And so what has happened is the people that don't understand what's happening, they start to create boys they wouldn't marry. They create boys they would not marry. And then say, I'm so tired of this stuff with these. But there is a population of people who created the boys that you wouldn't marry. And God forbid it should be you by making excuses for the boy when he's old enough to understand, when he's been given the tools or somebody is giving the young man the tools. Because when he gets to be of age, now you're going to complain about him. You're going to cuss him low key. You might go cuss him stank in real life. And now you mad. And it's like, well, who created that? Who got in the way when he needed to be checked? You feel me? And the checking is so that this dude can be a man when he grows up.
That's it.
I'm growing men, bro. I'm not growing babies. I'm not growing boys. From the time Josiah was in the womb, I was correcting him and hugging and loving him. He still get enough hugs, bro.
Yeah.
But I
They
don't let him make no excuses in front of me.
none.
Not one excuse. If it's an excuse, I call it, bro.
None. Because you can't say, you won't have the opportunity to say he wasn't affectionate with me enough. Or
Oh no,
he
I
was
don't play that.
always
I don't play that over
he was always
testosterone stuff, bro. He
beating me
gets a
down.
lot
Oh,
of
no, no, no.
hugging, bro.
Oh, no. When I came home from what's the name the other day, them jokers jumped in the bed. Oh, we missed you for the last 2 days. So they, you know what I'm saying? They get hug up, they get kiss up, they get all of that. You know what I'm saying? I think the thing that's most important is to make sure that they don't have an excuse, so that when you do something that's outside of your integrity, you do something that's out of your character, you don't have no choice but to just, you know what I'm saying? Take the discipline in and make the adjustments.
And when people say something to me that have only known me for say 10 years,
Yeah.
they have something to say. I'm like, oh, I guess you didn't know that I trained him personally.
Oh, come on.
I guess you don't know that he went to daycare for 2 weeks when he was 3 months old. And he's only known his daddy's voice from then.
See what I'm saying?
There were no babysitters at any time, not even once. And he did the daycare at 3 months old for only 2 weeks. So I know what I put in because I know what I didn't get. I invested everything. And I'm not even talking. I ain't even bringing Simona in this because I'm the one talking right this moment. So you can't talk to me about him because I gave him everything. I quit careers, 2 of them, because he's going to get what I didn't get, because I'm going to raise the right. It's only by the grace of God that I am halfway sane and halfway respectable. But that little boy's he's getting all of the best of everything in terms of that.
Absolutely. And I think it's important for us, D, because we've come up where we've seen, like, for real, where the men, and I'll just say this, and this is no diss to my father or any other man.
Shout
in my family.
to big John Green,
right?
Senior. Yeah.
I remember when my parents got divorced, I was in the 2nd grade. So which means I was what?
Said 2nd grade?
Yeah, we were 7 years old.
It's age 7, bro.
7. So 17, 27. That means my mama was 20 years old. I'm sorry. My mama was 27 years old. 7. Yep, 27. And he was 29.
They were young.
They was young. Right? And I remember when I was 27 or 29. Man, please. I wish I would be trying to marry to somebody trying to raise a family. So how could I hold him? You know what I'm saying? It wasn't my fault that all of those things happened that caused me to grow up the way that I did. And I seriously believe, to some extent, D, that my critical thinking and all the things that would allow us to properly navigate through life didn't develop the way that it should have developed because of them being, getting that divorce. Here's the thing about it. It wasn't my fault, but it's my responsibility.
It's simple, bro.
And I think most dudes are suffering right now because you stuck on the fact that it wasn't your fault. And that might be cool for 25. I'll even give you 29 and 30. But once you pass the age of 30, I'll give you what they say. The frontal lobe don't fully develop
25.
until you hit age 25. Okay,
25.
cool. I'll give you a 5-year cushion. Past 30, that's no longer acceptable. It may not have been your fault, but it's your responsibility to make sure that, because why? If you about here trying to get wives and all of this other stuff, it would behoove you to develop yourself to some extent, because especially when you're about to have children out of that, come on. Now, broken people begat broken people. If that, you know what I'm saying? Like,
listen, I have compassion, but I do not embolden people. So when Simone and I talk about it, when we're referencing people we know, I always find myself in my feelings, and I say, if I behave in my home the way I grew up, nobody in here would be here. straight.
Facts.
So since we're talking about, they had a past. Like, I get it, son. Like, I promise you I get it. That is an excuse.
Yeah.
It can be a reason for why. You can be a reason when you're grown. It can be a reason for the struggle.
Yeah.
But it must not be an excuse for the behavior. It's a reason for the struggle. I struggle against what every day I wake up, brother. I'm struggling against certain things, a few key things, bro.
That's all of us, though, D.
Feel me?
Ain't none of us that's not struggling with something.
No, but some people don't struggle. They just let go, and then they become people who make excuses. That's what I'm talking about. When I say the struggle, we're pushing against this thing, bro.
Oh yeah, because where we accelerate to or where we achieve success, and it don't mean that even after we achieve success, we still not struggling with stuff, determines on how you face the struggle. If you just let it go, then you're gonna get what those get who just let themselves go and they just wallowing in the muck and the mire, if you will. Yeah, nah, I can't sit in it, bro.
I promised this big old giant house with all these 3 acres of cement and rebar and 3 levels. Don't want none of what I got growing up.
Yeah.
If I pop the way that I grew up,
yeah, we lose.
and
everything.
I say because this is how I grew up, there's some stuff I can't unsee based on what I saw growing up.
Yeah, we lose freedom. We lose a whole bunch of stuff.
So I'm like, miss me with that. I get it. Like, I may bathe your face one go on that if you're immature enough. I may bathe your face and coddle you just for the moment, just so you can hear my voice. But after that, brother, I'm not saying it's not a reason. But what I am saying is get help. If you need assistance, get assistance. Now it's your fault. If you don't get assistance because whatever you saw and experienced is just too heavy, now it's your fault because you're not choosing to get assistance.
That part.
And actually work through this thing. So cheating is a big thing. Like, I get it. Like, you and I, we used to talk about it when we first started. And I know we got to push, man. But when we first started this program, I guess it's 2016 or whatever, we used to talk about, mainly you used to talk about how in marriage, if someone does step out, a lot of times there is something on the spouse's end that either they missed or there was a cause. It's not an excuse, but there may be, why did she become emotionally attached to someone else? Is it possible that you missed something as the husband? Many times, maybe the answer is yes. But again, I get it. But that is still not something God says, oh, okay, yeah, you know what? You make a good point. Because something didn't work out with you and your spouse, so yeah, you're right. You got to go get that somewhere else. If you're single, then that's a whole different problem.
So I always define divorce as the inability to self-assess and a lack of tools necessary to navigate difficult and challenging situations.
Yeah.
Even when that is the cause.
Yeah.
Your inability to self-assess, to see what you're contributing. Like, for real, you have God gave you a brain. Use it. We can communicate. What is missing? You know what I'm saying? Like, what happened? Where are we? Like, for real. It don't never have to get to the point of cheating. It doesn't have to get there.
You know,
when it does happen, it's because the need is being unmet. And when I say unmet, I'm not talking about the actual in and of, okay, let's take physical intimacy. I'm not talking about in physical intimacy in and of itself. The chances are great that you will not go and do that if you have the opportunity to have conversations that'll allow you to work through it to get to the physical intimacy. But when that's not happening, not only have I let you know what's going on, you just refuse to just dismiss it completely like it ain't nothing. That's the thing that pushes you there.
You know, it's interesting. I've never said this publicly.
Yeah.
Because, well, I just won't say why, but I never said this publicly, but the people who are closest to me know this. There was a time, my mother is now deceased. She's been sleeping since 2020. She was my protector in a bad marriage, et cetera, et cetera. I noticed some years into my marriage that I was feeling allergic to her. And it was messing with my brain because my mother is the one I love and has been protecting me. I'll just leave that where it is. I'm not going into that part of the discussion. But when I realized that I was having this response I could not compute, I went and got help, bro. I got help. Like I went to a therapist because I was like, I cannot process whatever this is. So I went and got help so that they could help me process this. I've been in psych for a long time, bro. And I could not process this. In fact, my therapist was like, yeah, don't try to modify your mother's behavior, because she knew what my background was. She was just like, yeah, don't do that. And I didn't tell her I was trying, but she told me straight up, like, do not, you'll be in the deep end of the pool and you'll drown. Do not do that. Let's work with you, work on you, and get this thing sorted.
I think that
I
that's
needed
heavy,
help, bro.
I think it's heavy that you said that, D, because a lot of us are like, we jibbing. And when I say jibbing, you doing a lot of, like, for real, clacking your teeth. You're doing a lot of talking. And I've come to realize too that like for real, I just want to sit on that for a moment, that you had to go and get the help, even after being in psych for X amount of years, right? You can't talk yourself out of something that you behaved yourself into. You know what I'm saying? So, and I think that that's a problem, especially with us for men. Maybe not so much for the ladies, but with us, we have an issue with vulnerability. And if we would, I'm not saying you got to be vulnerable everywhere, but there are a number of places that you have to, for the purposes of growth.
Yes, sir. Good vulnerability is strength.
Tomorrow is how your boy Maxwell says it. Growth is the only guarantee that tomorrow gets any better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Shout to Shad. Mud Hut to Millionaire. Like he's really pressing men in a good way to be appropriately vulnerable and get the assistance and camaraderie and safe space within your big testosterone chest. I don't know if that's a word, but I just made it up if it ain't. So shout to Shad, man. Like, shout to Shad. Good work.
Shout out to AB. She was a while ago saying it's so hard as a mom holding your tongue. You know what I'm saying? While you know, her husband is disciplining. She's like, I know it's needed, but you know, her mama nurturing self, right? But she has to keep in her mind that he's making a man. Yep. D got shut out, so he should be coming back in 2 seconds. You'll see him here in 2 seconds. But yeah, man. Yeah, D. And as always, man, let me just go ahead and like for real, from back in time. You ain't going nowhere, D. I was about to let him have the music, bro.
Yeah, I see you on Facebook still on the delay, but yeah, something really here. I don't know if it was a solar flare or what it was. Keep talking.
Yeah, you good. I was about to let him have the you know what I'm saying, the closeout. I think I want what I want you guys to what we want to leave you with this evening is, like, for real, when you get to the place where you're having those kind of thoughts, they're indication that you need development.
Real
it's
talk.
An indication that you need help. Right? There's never an excuse for doing the right thing. Period. There's never an excuse for doing the right thing.
Yep.
Shaky to good, good to great. What we want is phenomenal, but it takes work. So let's keep working, and I'll see y'all at Phenomenal. Peace.
There you have it, y'all. I hope you've enjoyed your time with us. Marriage is about mutual love and mutual respect, and it works for those willing to make it work. Real talk, our spouses are treasured jewels given to us to make life better. And the sooner we learn to value one another will be the sooner we become the absolute best versions of ourselves we can be. Until next time, peace.